you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Members,
sure.
you're welcome, sir. Let's see, other questions? All right. Faye or Cynthia? Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia, you're next. You have the 2 minutes.
Good night, everyone. My name is Cynthia Ramirez, and I'm a student at the University of Texas at Austin. Thanks to the DACA program, I have been able to serve at the Office of the Attorney General of Texas under our now Governor Abbott. I'm now a legislative intern here at the House of Representatives, and I've actually also worked kind of like Senator Campbell in surgical operation rooms, helping Texans who have severe health challenges. I would ask you to oppose Senate Bill 1819. Texas is the only home I have ever known. I was brought here when I was 3 years old. And my parents have worked extremely hard. They have paid taxes for 20 years in this state. Keeping up with school has been really hard for me and my siblings. We lived in a mobile home with no computer, no running hot water. We had no heating system, no AC system. And for those of you who've ever spent a summer in Houston, you know that's no joke. Nevertheless, like countless of people here, and like Joaquin was, I was able to graduate as valedictorian of my class of over 700 students. I was also one of 20 students who were awarded the Seal of the State by Governor Rick Perry for academic excellence. I now have a 3.95 GPA at the University of Texas. I'm pursuing a dual degree in business honors as well as a Bachelor of Science. And Senate Bill 1819 says that I do not deserve or to afford or attend college. Even though I would be grandfathered into this bill, the Republican Party would once again have told me that I'm not good enough. They would have told me that I don't deserve an education. Hispanics and Texans will not forget that. And I want you to know that we will not forget that, and I will make sure that Hispanics do not forget that. My husband is here. He is a U.S. citizen, and our future family would be dramatically affected if I could not pursue higher education. Texas has already lost my brothers who, because of the anti-immigrant sentiment in Texas, have decided to attend college outside of the state. They attend Middlebury, and I'm closing Middlebury College, Dartmouth, Harvard College, and I think that we need to make sure that we keep the brightest minds in this state. Justice should be on the side of students who want to give back to their communities like us. Justice should not punish students for the mistakes they did not make. Sorry, my time is up, and do you have any questions?
Chairman, sure, Senator Lucio.
What else you want to share with me that will
Thank you.
inspire me? I don't know how much more I can be inspired after you
Just
spoke.
very quick. So, as we've heard today, Dreamers pay $51.6 million in tuition and fees and have an economic output of $65 million in Texas. The potential that we have to contribute to the economy is immense. There is no evidence that U.S. citizens are losing spots in colleges to Dreamers. My family and I have paid taxes for 20 years, like I said. I've earned my place at the University of Texas at Austin, along with 762 other Longhorns. Stand on the right side of history, invest in students, in the Texas economy, and in Texas families. As my friend, Chancellor Bill McRaven, and I think he knows a little bit about border security. He is credited with the capture of Osama bin Laden. And he also strongly opposes Senate Bill 1819, and I would ask you to do the same and hook 'em horns.
Members, questions?
Yes, thank you very much for your excellent testimony, and I will forever remember it. How proud your parents must be.
Thank you. They earned it.
Members, other questions? Cynthia, Senator Garcia.
It's getting late, but I'm just curious. Just bear with me 1 second here. You said you came here when you were 2?
I was 3 years old.
3 years old? Your parents brought you?
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like you committed a crime at 3 years old?
I mean, I can't imagine any of y'all telling
you were
a 3-year-old
right?
that they're a criminal. So no.
I'm just curious because I've never been in your shoes. So how do you feel when people call you an illegal? Or illegal children? I mean, people actually call you illegal because your parents brought you here.
I mean, I don't think any of y'all would want your children to have to listen to those words being told by them over and over again by politicians, by people in our schools. I saw my little brothers being made fun of many times and being called wetbacks, being called illegal aliens and all these things. And And I think that that in itself, I know earlier we talked about the anxiety that we can cause students, and I think that in itself is detrimental. And we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay here in Texas. We want to stay here in Texas. I mean, I might have to go to California or New York or somewhere where I'm more welcome to continue my education, but I would rather stay in Texas and contribute to the economy that has contributed really thousands and thousands of dollars in me. And
I just feel like we just haven't really talked about that much. Maybe it's because it's something we just don't talk about, but there is, I know that I visited with someone who, I mean, she literally would, after school, would just go straight to her house and would just not go anywhere because she was scared, she was afraid. So people don't like to talk about that. They'd rather just say, well, they're illegals and they want this.
And I think that's why
in perpetuity.
And I think that's why it's so important that we're all here. Like people before me have said, when in 2001 I was in second grade and I was scared out of my mind to tell anyone that I was illegal. And I think that right now there's second graders here in Texas who will be here in 10 years. And I think that if any of you would go walk into an elementary classroom right now and tell second graders that they don't deserve the right to go to college and that they are criminals, then well, we're not the Texas I thought we were.
So what could we do better there?
Well, I think that we've talked about how it would perpetuate illegal immigration, but like many people before me, I haven't met anyone who came to this country. My parents didn't even know I didn't know I could go to college until about a month before I applied, because one of my school counselors let me know. I honestly thought I was just doing it for the heck of it. But I think that we could do better to secure our borders in other ways. There are bills that this committee has the power to pass and to revise and to look at that could really strengthen our border. I think we have conservative values and we respect a lot of the work that you do, but this is simply not the way to discourage any further illegal immigration. It's not. It's just a way to turn people away, to make us feel bad, and to demean our culture, really.
So what about the atmosphere at this university? I mean, do you feel like there's enough support and support services to keep you in the right direction?
Well, and I think that's one of the things that's confused me today is at the University of Texas, I really feel like I have great support. ULI, I'm always getting emails about, people helping each other out and being there for support. The university, if you go to the financial aid, anywhere I go, they are excited to have me there. They know that I'm contributing. They're excited to support students like me and like everyone in this room. But yet, for some reason, some people in this room think that they have a better judgment of what would be valuable for a university, and I don't really understand that.
Well, because wasn't it last year or the year before where there was some game that some fraternity was playing about go shoot a Mexican or something, I forget what they called it. I mean, is that...
I think Skylar... Yeah, Skylar...
Yeah,
Is that gone?
Catch an illegal alien, illegal immigrant game, put on by the Unconservative Texas UT chapter. And I also add, you were talking about the support systems at UT Austin. University Leadership Initiative, the Dreamer group there, we have a really strong relationship with our international office. We host what we call undocupeers trainings to teach educators about the rights that undocumented students have. So UT is very supportive of these students, and more so than I would say probably in almost any other institutions in the state.
So is that type of stuff and that atmosphere gone now? Is it?
No, we've still actually recently this past month we've been having a lot of bad feelings. There's been fraternities that help hold parties that are really offensive to our culture, and once again, I think that the radicalism of the Republican Party is trickling down to like the young conservatives and things like this, and I think that it's causing a kind of a polarized feeling here that we don't need, that we can all kind of work together to overcome and to really help Texas.
So do you ever feel like you're being targeted?
Almost every day, and my husband will be testifying later to you, but he probably gets the brunt of it because almost every day I go home and tell him, I felt, someone said this comment to me, someone said this to me. People, tend to push me out of the way when they wouldn't push someone who is, tall, blonde, or, and I think that I've learned to live with it, but I think it definitely affects every student here, and it really gets at our core and makes us feel unwelcome, quite frankly.
Well, thank you for having the courage to stand up and to be here and to say you're unafraid, because it takes a lot to be able to do that. I, quite frankly, am not sure that I would have been able to do that at your age. Of course, I look wet. I mean, unless they see my last name, they don't even know that I'm Hispanic sometimes. But, I got to hand it to you all. You'll handle it very well under sometimes very difficult circumstances. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Senator Lucia,
One more thing. I would hate to correct you on one item, but I will.
Sure.
For your sake and for everybody's sake. Don't paint the entire Republican Party with your brush when you say Republican Party. There's some Democrats that, I wouldn't want to be seen with either. And I am Democrat. And there's some Republicans that I respect so much. My best friend died I considered him an incredible friend, Republican out of Houston, who had 2 orphanages, one in Matamoros and one in Central America. And he credited the Hispanic people or the Mexican people had come here from Mexico, their work ethic and their ability and craftsmanship as carpenters and construction workers that made him a multi-millionaire. But don't think he set up those orphanages at an old age. No, he didn't. He must have been like 1976. That's a long time ago. He was a very young man in his 30s when he set up those orphanages. He had a heart of gold. He was a conservative Republican, wanted accountability on everything that happened in this capital, but he never asked me for one thing. He never picked up the phone. He just wanted justice, but he was in favor of guest worker programs. He was in favor of educating the masses, no matter who you were. And there's many other Republicans that I've met along the way in my 40 years of public service, and we can't paint a brush,
And I hope that we can go back to that. I hope we can go back to the bipartisanship that was here.
There are some people
before.
in both parties that I don't agree with, yes. But as a whole, I think there are men and women who believe that what they're doing is correct. We respectfully disagree, and you've heard me tonight. Man's law is important to me. God's more important. And right now, I think he's asking us to be considerate and thoughtful and treat the immigrant and treat the less fortunate with dignity and respect. And that's what I expect people to do. Christians. If they don't, well, I can't judge them. I won't judge them, but he will. Thank you.
Law. I'm speaking on behalf of the Texas chapter of AILA, the American Immigration